My name is Steve USSR Robinson, and thank you for watching Sporting Icons.
Alright Steve, thank you very much for letting me into your gym today.
Thank you.
So, you've been doing like a bit of body work there and everything, so how are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah.
Feeling fresh. Got 2.5 weeks till my next fight and just ready now really. But obviously keeping active, staying ready, carrying on the sparring and just staying ready until 19th of December, and then we'll go and we'll stay active all the way through, ready for the next one.
Okay, so like a no time off over Christmas then, no?
Definitely not. Going to try and get out middle of January up Glasgow with Bazzy. If I can't, I'll 100% be on the MTK show. That's going to be mid-Feb, start of March. But even still, if I'm one phone call away from any promoter, I'll be there. As long as Mark and Giuseppe accepts a fight, I'm comfortable to take it. So I'll be staying active over Christmas, be staying active over the New Year. No drinking, no partying, and just ready to get ready on to the next one, really.
Yeah. So you're 1-0. So you had your professional debut on the MTK show at the Eagles Arena. Yeah. Obviously, we had like a chat after that one.
Yeah.
So now, like the pro debut's out of the way, do you think that like going forward there'll be like less nerves and to be more confidence going forward? And
to be honest, it's something Mark and Joe's trying to get out of us, because I had 42 amateur fights and I lost 6 of them, and all 6 were on a split decision. And if I watch them back and if I look back at the 6 that I lost, they were all due to me starting too slow, because I've never been one to get nervous. I've never been one, to get G'd up for a fight, or I'm laid back, I'm relaxed. And sometimes, that can be a negative effect. Nerves are good, nerves are 100% good. So for all those out there who get nervous, fantastic, because if anything, you start quicker, especially in the amateur. You've got 3 rounds, you've got 9 minutes to do what you need to do. And unfortunately, the 6 I lost was just starting too slow.
Right.
So the nerve side of things, it's something I've never experienced yet. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Touch wood, one day I'll be fighting, in a massive arena, whether it be on the undercard or not. Then it might take over. But at the minute, it's something that hasn't hit us yet. So when it comes to will there be anything different from the first to the next one? Not really, because my first professional fight, I set up the exact same as I did for my first amateur fight. The training, everything. Obviously, the training was condensed higher, and it was a lot more, active, and the activities were harder, and the rounds were longer. But when it comes to actually setting up, preparing, it's been the same from day one up until the first amateur fight or the first professional fight.
Yeah, I mean, when you look up here at like the northeast, there's you, now there's Simon. Obviously he's moved up from cruiser to heavyweight. You really have to think about any other kind of like heavyweights in or around the northeast. There isn't too many really since Glenn McCrory. Really, so you're in a very, very unique small company there, aren't you?
Definitely. I mean, you had TK, who he's dropped down to cruiserweight now, because I think he realised that naturally, the heavyweights we are big hitters, and TK's seen that, and he's realised that if he can get down to cruiser, good for him. Do you know what I mean? He looks great. His training's going well, so it's fantastic that TK has done that. And where Simon's done the opposite effect of that, he's had to make weight, and he's obviously he's finding it hard to get down to that 14-2, and he's obviously stepped up, but Simon's had a fantastic amateur pedigree, and I spar Simon 2 or 3 times a week, and I think Simon's going to shock a lot of people in the heavyweight division, just with the speed and the power that he possesses. I mean, he was meant to be fighting Fabio Wardley, as we know, on the 19th of December for the English title, and Fabio's pulled out with an injury.
That's boxing.
So unfortunately for Simon, where he was progressing well, and he had some. I mean, he knocked Dorian Darch out within a couple of rounds, and he hasn't fought 4 bums that a lot of people do when they step up. He's went and getting himself some good fights for to build that pedigree up at the heavyweights, and unfortunately, as I say, that English title hasn't come off for him. So, like you say, it's good to be a heavyweight in the northeast, because there hasn't been one since Glenn. And if I can bring something to the northeast, which I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that. I wouldn't be making this commitment if I didn't think that. So, definitely, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the journey.
It must be nice, because at the MTK show, like after your fight there, it seems to be here in the northeast that everyone just supports everyone. It doesn't matter what gym that you come from. It doesn't really matter what weight you are. Everyone supports everybody. And I noticed, like after the fight, you were very, very popular in that arena where people ask about selfies and all that kind of thing. So I mean, that must be nice.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's just the start, and. You see it whenever I go to the Dunstan Fed. There's people, just on my own back, going to watch things like DD, or going to watch any of the unlicensed shows. Or just you get it, and it doesn't matter whether that's your first fight, or if in 3 years' time I've got a British title. Nothing will ever change to the character I am. I'll always remember those who have come to support us from day one, and those who have followed us through the journey, the sponsorships that I've got on board. It's something that I'll always be grateful for. I'll always stay humble for, and I'll always appreciate the fact that there's people out there who appreciate what we do. We're putting our lives on the risk, and there's some amazing fans out there who notice that, who realise that, and I'll always appreciate the fact that they've been there. Even if it's not been there to support me, they've been there and supported me. You know what I mean? They might not have necessarily bought a ticket for me, off me, or to come and see me. They might have come to see one of the friends, but they've seen me, and they've approached us, they've appreciated us, and they've come and spent their time to come and see me. So it's only grateful to spend my time to go and appreciate their support.
That's what I find as well here, is that if it's football, there's rivalry, like up here, but in boxing, it doesn't matter whether you're from Newcastle, Darlington, Middlesbrough, Sunderland, it doesn't matter where you are, everyone supports everybody. Oh,
definitely. I mean, who's to say that in 2 years' time me and Simon aren't fighting for the English title?
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? Who's to say that me and Simon won't be fighting for an area title in 12 months' time? It's not to say that it won't happen, but the respect that I've got for Simon, and the respect that I've only learned from him, we've brought each other on. It'll never go amiss. And when you see the two boxers coming face to face at the weigh-in, if it ever happens, I'll never have anything bad to say. And if he put us down in sparring, which he hasn't, but if he did, I wouldn't. It would be something that I wouldn't be, if he brought it up, it wouldn't be something that I'd be embarrassed with, because what happens in sparring happens in sparring. Anything bad that happens in sparring is where it should happen.
Exactly.
So if anybody has been, been hurt or put down in sparring, and it's psychologically, everybody was saying that's why Joshua got beat, because his head wasn't in, he got put down in sparring. That's like, if you're going to get put down anywhere, if sparring you want to get put down in, learn why you got put down. Was your left hand down? Was your right hand down? Are you not working your body enough? So that's where you learn. So if it comes down to it, with like you say, there's only me and Simon up here at the minute. So that it's probably going to happen. That area title, if that's something. I mean, Simon might have overstepped that mark. He's already fighting for an English title, so that area title might be something he wants. But who's to say that in 2 years' time I'm not competing him for the English title or British title? We just don't know where the journey's going to take. Well, it's one step at a time, but you can't look past the fight on the 19th of December. But in the long term,
you have to think about long term, don't you?
You've got to, because otherwise I wouldn't be in it. If I thought, well, I don't see myself getting there, what's the point in being there now? If I don't in my head believe I can get to, and Mark and Giuseppe don't believe I can get to somewhere, I don't want to be one of these kids who, you know, has it on their Instagram account and has it on the Facebook account that I'm a professional boxer and use it as a sort of pulling method. You know, that's 100% not the reason why I'm doing this. I genuinely do believe that I can go somewhere in the sport, and I work too hard, and you know, I give up too much to not do something in the sport. Yeah. Yeah.
To go back to the sparring bit that you were talking about, I think there's too many boxers out there who are embarrassed about tales of sparring incidents and that, and for me, I've always said, if you get put down in sparring, good, learn from it. So everything that happens in sparring, okay, there's like a code of conduct, if you like, what happens in sparring should stay in sparring, but ultimately, if you're getting your ass handed to you in the gym, that's good, to make sure it doesn't happen on the night.
Yeah. I mean, I went and sparred somebody called Chris Burton from Darlington. He was an old pro. I think he had one prize fighter, or he come second in prize fighter. His nickname was Hightower, and I had 10 amateur fights, and he was making his pro comeback, and he had 13-0 pro fights. And then I think he got beat. He stepped down to cruiserweight for the British title against John Lewis Dickinson in his last bout, and he lost. So that was the only fight that he lost, and he was signed with Eddie Hearn. He was, you know, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, geez, you know, I'm 10 amateur fights in, and Mark was taking us to this gym. And I'll never forget my first fight. He punched me lips off us, and I'd done 6 rounds, and I was like, wow, you know, this is. I goes back in the car, and I was driving back from Darlington, and Mark was just like, that was fantastic, you know. And I'm thinking, what do you mean that was fantastic? I've just been punched all over. My eyes were out there, my lips was out there, and he went, but next time you go, I promise you, you're only going to learn from that. And touch wood, I've never been put down yet in sparring. Not to say that's not going to happen, and I've never been put down in any of my fights. And Chris only ever brought me on. I sparred down there 2-3 times a week, and you know, I'm so grateful for that, because that brought me on massive leaps and bounds confidence wise, because after 5-6 spars I was winning 2-3 rounds against them. Then 10 spars I was winning, you know, the majority of the rounds against them. Then things progressed on to where, you know, I was comfortable against them. And that's where Mark's wanted us to be. And you don't realise that when you first go down. You just think, well, you know, I'm only helping him because I'm just a punch bag. But it's not. You're not. You're only going to progress. And the same as with Simon. My first spar with Simon, you know, I was taken back. Same as Dave Allen. Same as Nathan Gorman. You know, those who have sparred, the first few rounds, it's been like, wow. These are miles ahead, but then when you spar with them 3, 4, 5 times, you start to see that you're learning things from them, and then you're adjusting to them, and they're, you know, you're beating them to the punch, and you're countering their punches, and you learn so much from sparring. You could be the fittest guy in the world, you can look great on the pads, but there's no substitute for being in there and sparring. Nothing.
That's the thing, because people like a David Hay, they've raised concerns about Joshua in sparring, that he was only doing like technical sparring. So ultimately what happened to him against Andy Ruiz Jr. when he got hurt, put down and whatever, because he hadn't been in that situation before in sparring. Which is why now apparently he's doing intense sparring, so he does get hurt in sparring, so he can overcome it on fight night.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard rumours. I've heard that from people in the GB camp that everything suits Anthony, so when Anthony goes down there, it's okay guys, what we'll be doing today is you'll be high in the 1-2, Anthony will be catch countering, then high in the 1-2 left hook. Whether that's rumours or not, you don't know, do you know what I mean? And it's the same as when they've getting people over and they've sparred down there. I've also heard that, like you say, it's being technical sparring, but take nothing away from the guy. He beat Povetkin, he beat Klitschko. You know, people say that it was at the wrong time, but is there a wrong time in boxing? Do you know what I mean? When the peak of boxing, the peak of your fitness, the sayings, but now the age of 33, 34, so how can somebody say that, you know, they're too old to box? Because it's their bodies, nobody knows. As a spectator, you can't say they're too old to box. Look at Lucas Brown, 40-year-old, Bernard Hopkins, when he got the title back. So there's, nobody can sit there and say, but Anthony's done fantastic to get to where he got to, but whether there was something in that Ruiz fight that was playing on his mind, whether the rumours of the panic attack, the rumours, he's denying all knowledge of that, but is that Eddie telling him to deny all knowledge of that? Nobody knows what's going on in somebody's head, nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. Did he have issues at home? Did he have issues with, you know, anything can get to you before a fight.
Or maybe Ruiz is just stylistically wrong for him.
Which is what I believe. I believe Ruiz's style is wrong from him. You look at him against Carlos Takam, and the fact this Carlos Takam, who was a bin man from France, stepped in last minute. You know, everybody just thought that this is just a joke. Well, you know, the Anthony Joshua fighting this big man from France who's 40-year-old. And, there was 3 or 4 times when Carlos Takam had him against the ropes, and he broke his nose, whether it was with a shot or with his head, he still broke his nose. Was it an early stop? Same as with Povetkin, when he fought Povetkin. He doesn't like them chess-style fighters, so if he's gone away and he's seen that he needs to adapt to that style, good on him. Great, fantastic, do you know what I mean? Rob McCracken and him will have to say, right, we're sparring. I've heard he's sparring Derek Chisora, which will be the perfect sparring for him, because Derek will not give you 2 minutes to think. He'll be on your chest, and he'll be holding tough, hard shots. And so if he has gone and done that, good on him. And I hope he does bring the titles back to England for but definitely. As I say, you can't take nothing away from Andy either. He done phenomenal, and he stepped in, and he's a tough guy. That uppercut left hook would have kept most people down that he caught Ruiz with. Ruiz got up, shook it off, and then knocked him down 22 seconds later. Yeah. So
that's one of the things as well. Like a lot of people saying how Joshua quit, but for me, if you get knocked down 4 times and you get up 4 times, that's not quitting. I understand the end point with the spitting the gum shield out, but again, that's an old pro trick of buying a bit more time. But I think the referee did the right thing. I'm not saying that, but I think that he wasn't one going, no, I don't want this anymore, I want out.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of people, it's the same as with David Price. There's fights where people have said he's quit, but your coach has only got your health and safety to their best knowledge. The referee's got your health and safety to the best knowledge. And as a fighter, as much pride as you want, and as much pride as you've got to go out there and fight, there's sometimes where you just know that your body just can't take it. At the time, David says he tore his bicep, and everyone must say, no, only he knows that pain. But for me, in fighters' mentality, I've got a fighter's mentality, and I've told Mark and I've told Joe, never, ever throw the towel in, because if you do, I'll never forgive you. Never, until I'm on that canvas, out of it.
Go out on your shield.
Yeah, that's the only time for me that I'm getting stopped. So when it. Did he quit? Personally, I think he did. The spitting of the gum shield out, and the referee told him to walk forward, and his hands were over the ropes like that, and he didn't want to walk forward. And I appreciate what people say, that he had been down 4 times, and it was psychologically, but therefore that's the referee stopped it. But he could have walked forward and took a shot to the point where he was knocked clean out, which is what personally I would do. But again, that's you don't know what was going on in his mind and things before that, what had happened.
And as I said there, hopefully this weekend he gets those belts back.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
It's a hard fight for him. Ruiz is, he's the underdog. If you look at the betting, he's a massive underdog again. So he's going to go out there. He's got nothing to lose. He's from the slums of Mexico. He's made his millions. He's done it. he's succeeded in life now. So,
although is he wearing suit pajamas now though, in the sense of I've got the money, don't really need this anymore.
But he's only going to get more money. So if he wins them titles again, then who's coming next for him?
Yeah,
where does that go next? Yeah. So, you're only going to, when you've got money, you're only going to build more money if you keep the belt. So, and then if Ruiz loses them belt, then what happens to him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know what he wants. You don't know whether or not he's money driven or if he's pride driven. It's him as a person. If he's driven by pride and he's driven by the sport and he loves the sport, then he's going to go all out to win. But if he's driven by money and he's comfortable and his family are comfortable and he's now knows that he's set for life, does he just think, right, well, I'm not going to go all out for this fight and I'm set.
If I lose, I lose.
If I lose, I lose. Or is his mentality where I want to be the best boxer in the world? You just don't know.
And speaking of that card, two guys that Dillian Whyte and Wach.
Yeah, I've sparred Wach. He's long, very long. I think he must be about 6'10". Yeah. He's good 2-3 inches. When Cash Ali got him over for the prize fight. Yeah. He just keeps everything long, but again, I think you've seen him against Bakoli, and I think Bakoli stopped him in the 5th, I think, 5th or the 6th. So I can't see it going past the 3rd round. He will try and keep it long, but Dillian Whyte's style and aggressive nature and coming forward, and especially with all the bad news, all the bad press that's been going on about Dillian, he's got got fire. He's got fire in his heart, and he wants to show that these belts, he shouldn't be on the undercard. He's in his head. He should be the one fighting Ruiz. He should be the one fighting Joshua. He's beat everybody. He deserves this shot, and he wants that. He wants to prove to himself, and with Eddie that he needs a chance to get something, one of these belts. So I think he's going to go out quick against Wach, and I can't see it going past the 3rd person.
But it's like we said about styles and that. For me, I think that Dillian Whyte stylistically is all wrong for Wilder. That's why I want to see that fight.
Yes, yeah. I think, but I think Dillian Whyte and he's the issue is with Wilder. He'll openly admit he's not a boxer. He's got a horrible style. He's got 88-inch arms. He swings, but all it takes is one shot, and we've seen that against Ortiz. We've seen that against the other 40 opponents. He's just got there's something there, because it didn't. When I've watched that fight 3 or 4 times back, that knockout, it doesn't even look like it just hits off the top of his head. It doesn't even look like it will be a shot that would knock somebody out. But there must be something behind his punches. But again, all it takes is Dillian Whyte to catch him with one. That's the beauty of the heavyweight division. You could go, we've seen it with Joshua, you could go 19, 20 fights unbeaten, beat him, and then you come up against one person whose style's wrong for you, or you haven't trained to that style, or you get hit with a hard shot that stuns you throughout the whole fight, and that can change fights. And we've seen
that's the thing about being a heavyweight as well, that you've always got to have that awareness about you. You could be fighting on paper journeyman, but he's a big guy.
Definitely.
He's still going to hit you hard.
Definitely. You look at the likes of Sokolowski, who's classed as a journeyman. His
record don't do him justice.
Not at all. he's. I think personally, I think he's going to win this golden contract, because I think a lot of people are looking at him as I say, he's a stepping stone. He's a journeyman, and there is a couple of people in that golden contract who have beat him. Bennett's beat him, and I think there's another one. I think
he beat Nick Webb, didn't he?
He beat Nick Webb, yeah. But the thing is, the fact he's a cruiserweight naturally, and he's a pumped up heavyweight, and the fact it's only 3 rounds, I think his
Is that all it is? I don't know about
yeah,
it.
it's 3 threes. So I think his punch output will just be too much for him. It's like a prize fighter type tournament. Yeah. So I think personally, I think the likes of Sokolowski and stuff, who's proved the fact that, I mean, Dave Allen, when he first started, they were using him as look at who he fought, and look at where he got to by being somebody who people try to use, because his punch, you look at that punch against Nick Webb, and it's got to be one of the knockouts of the century. A massive shot, and I felt Dave Allen hitting. I know he hits phenomenally hard. So it does just take one shot from a heavyweight at the top of the temple or behind one of the pressure points. You're either going to be stunned for the next minute, or you're going to be on your back and you're going to know about it.
What about Tyson Fury? I think he hits harder than what he looks like he does.
I think Tyson concentrates more on his technical side of things. I still think he hits hard. He's 18.5 stone, so regardless of whether he hits harder than X and X, it's irrelevant, because he's proved his technical side of things is just phenomenal. Heavyweight wise, I've never seen movement like it other than with Ali. With that type of movement that he's got, with his footwork, his switch, he's a switch hitter comfortably, his head movement, and you've got to take into account he's 6'8", as well as, and he's still moving, and he's still rolling, and he's still slipping and pivoting and turning, and boxes with his hands low, catches things on his shoulder. So he's phenomenal when you watch him. You couldn't watch Tyson Fury and go, right, this is how he's going to box, this is how I'm going to beat him, because he's so active, and he's just always flicking shots out, always.
It is. I mean, I imagine being an opponent on him, when he's at his peak of, if you don't want you to hit him, you ain't hitting him.
Yeah.
So it must be a frustrating night for his opponent.
Oh, definitely. Which is where he counters, because that's when opponents make mistakes. When they're frustrated, when they're angry, that's when they start to lunge the body in. That's when they start to fall forward on their shots, and that's when they're perfect for the uppercut or the left hook or just a straight right hand. As soon as they start leaning forward, the front foot, they're off balance. Again, that's where Tyson, picks his knockouts from, when he frustrates his opponents, and when he sees that they're frustrated, they're angry, they're trying to lunge in, they're trying to get a shot on him, and that's when he takes over.
He's a phenomenal talent, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it, I mean, when you look at Tyson, Dillian Whyte, Joshua, that's three of arguably the top 4-5 heavyweights in the world. Yeah. Which is very, very good for British boxing.
Oh, definitely. And you've got people coming up as well. You've got Daniel Dubois. Where's Joe Joyce going to go next? Is he going to fight for a British title against Dubois? Is he going to take another route?
It's a European against Marco Huck.
Yeah, he's fighting. Yeah, he's got that bout, and then they're saying Dubois' next opponent could be Joseph Parker. So if Dubois stops him, will he get the rematch? Will Gorman get the rematch? They're both young as well, and then. There's always people coming up. You just don't know. You don't know when the next person comes around, and you don't know if there's a young'un out there now, 18, 19, who's ready to step up and
could be you one day.
Over. Hopefully, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like I say, I'm not here just to make up the numbers, and I haven't put in this commitment, and I haven't put in this time, and Morgan just said we haven't put the time in with us, just not to go somewhere. We would genuinely believe that there is a route forward to go, and progress to that route together. We won't rush into anything. We won't look past the 19th of December, but we are going to aim for things together.
Is that how you're going to do it? It's like one step at a time. You're talking like a northern area, you're talking British, you're talking Commonwealth, European, move on that way?
So again, it's up to Mark and Joe. They're everything that they say. I follow through what they say. They know what's right for me, and if a fight comes along that they believe is right for me, if the time's right for me, then of course I'll take it. But me as a fighter, I'll take any fight. Now, I'll take any fight tomorrow. But that's me as a fighter. But Mark and Joe as coaches and managers, they know that mentality's not. It's a fighter's mentality, but a business mentality is different to a fighter's mentality, and they've got to look at, you know, whether or not that fight's correct for me at that time, and whether or not I'm going to progress via that route, via that way. And it's their decision, and that's, you know, I know I'm in good hands, so I'll take on board what they say and where they want me to go, because as I say, so if somebody could ring us tomorrow and say, oh, such and such has dropped out against such and such, will you go? And I'd be there, but obviously that would depend on Mark and Joe.
So you fight on December 19th, that's an MTK show?
Yes.
It's in the hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Hilton Hotel. It's I think it's their sort of Christmas party.
Yeah, it's a black tie shirt event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's...
you have tickets for those?
Yeah, okay. Each boxer's only been given 20 tickets because the show's sold out. Yeah. So each boxer got given 20 tickets. Just if we sell them, great. If not, I think it'll be, you know, it'll sell out on the night anyway. With people who saw the corporate and sponsorships through MTK over the year, and that type of clientele. But it's good. But from last year, I spoke to Simon Vallely about it, and he fought on the last year, and he says it was a fantastic night. There's a singer, there's a disco, there's entertainment, 3-course meal. So it seems like it's going to be a good. Seems to be like it's going to be a good show.
Okay, and I'll put your social media in the description box of this video, so if anybody wants tickets, they can just hit you up.
Fantastic, yeah, thank you, appreciate that.
So, like a closing off then, Northeast Boxing, you guys support each and every one of, as in, it doesn't matter what gym you are, it doesn't matter whereabouts in Northeast you are, you'll go support Joe Lords, Lewis Ritson, Tommy Ward, and all these kind of guys, which is a great community, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, I'll be there on the 13th to see, you know, to see them fighting, and then, you know, they'll be there on the 19th hopefully to see me fighting, although obviously tickets are limited, my friends and family are going to be wanting to go, but you know, there's a couple of people who are coming back. There's Mark Taylor who's coming back, he's been out for a while. There's Robert Ismay who's been out for a while. On the 30th, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, April Hunt is going to be on there, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, April's on there.
Joe Mafosa.
Yeah, Mafosa was obviously with everything that happened at the Dunson Fed, where me and Bazzy were meant to be on, and it all fell through. Unfortunately, Joe was one of them that was meant to be on that as well. So it's going to be a good show, especially for Northeast Boxing, and you know, you'll see the talent starting to rise. We've seen it with Joe Rose, we've seen it with Tommy Ward, we've seen it with Lewis Ritson. Obviously, a lot of people forget Josh Kelly's a Northeast lad as well, but obviously he's moved away for his training. But Lewis has done the same. Lewis has moved a little bit further down south for his training. So, you know, Northeast boxing is it's on the rise, and I'm really looking forward to seeing as well what Robert can do, because I've seen him back in the, you know, you watch his YouTube clips, and he was a phenomenal, technical, he was a phenomenal boxer, and I've done a lot of rounds of sparring with Robert when I was an amateur, and he hits hard, he moves well, and then let's not forget he's not on the show, but then we've got Bazzy, who I train with, Bazzy Razik, who's fighting in January up Glasgow. So there's some good names who are hopefully don't get overlooked, and you know we do progress onto British level, onto fighting for the British title or the English title.
We got Lawrence Osaweki as well. He's been taking on Dan Aziz.
Yeah.
Very good fight.
Yeah. I think Lawrence in his last fight, I personally thought that he won at the arena. So it's good to see that he got that, because that was an English title eliminator. So it's good to see that they've obviously seen that, you know, he personally he got the win. And Lawrence, I've never sparred Lawrence, but I've seen Lawrence spar down here, and I've spoken to people who sparred with Lawrence, and they said his jab is just, it's phenomenal, his left hook's phenomenal. Again, he's come from a fantastic amateur pedigree, so you know, it would be fantastic if he could get the English title up to the northeast.
Yes, and Anthony Ormsby, he's going to be on that as well.
Yes, and had a few problems as well with
the scan
with a couple of brain, same as me, but now that's all gone through. So he's going to be on the show. He's making his comeback after a bit of time out. So it'll be interesting. And he's looking great as well in his pictures on social media. He's sparring regular. He's starting to cut in well. So it should be a good show.
So where did this whole Ivan Drago thing come from? I think when did it start and why did it start?
Yeah, so I used to get called it at school. I think it was one of my teachers. Started it, and then I just used to get T-shirts and figures for Christmas and just a lot of random things, and then it's carried on throughout. It's carried on throughout the whole my whole sort. Even when I was playing football before I started boxing, you know, my nickname was Drago. My nickname's always been Drago, and whenever I'm in town, people come up to us and ask for photos. Even before the boxing, I'd saying, "Oh, can I have a photo with Ivan Drago?" So,
and I've embraced it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like I say, if I look like him at his age, I'd be more than happy. Yeah. He was a handsome young chap. So
don't be fighting any Italian Americans.
Yeah, no. We'll not go down that route. But yeah, so it's to be honest, how cold it is in this gym. It's like living back in the USSR back in the 80s. But yeah, so it's just carried on, and I think it's as much as a gimmick it is. It's it's good. It's a laugh, and you know, as serious as I am about the boxing, you've still got to have a little bit of fun with it. And, you know,
just don't fight like him, because he fights with zero defence whatsoever. Well,
that's why I've always got black eyes. That's my issue as well. I stop shots with my head and jaw. But yeah, that's something more.
You got a good chin though. You were talking to me about that before, haven't you?
Yeah, but that's something I'll not be able to speak by the time I'm 40 if I carry on taking shots the way I do. I've definitely got to start to work on my defence. That's probably my downside, my defence work. But we're working on it, and I'll learn throughout my time with every fight that comes, every sparring that comes. I'm always learning, and defence is definitely one of the things that I need to work on. Definitely.
So when I was watching you do some of the work there with what's his name? Is it Giuseppe?
Giuseppe, yes, yeah.
Yeah, and he's very, very. Of what I've seen with you, he's very, very hands-on, and every punch that you're throwing, he's guiding you each and every way, in the sense of do this one, do that one, do this one, which is good to see.
Phenomenal. The fact that I've only been boxing for 4.5 years, and everything that I've done, I've boxed for my country. I've won the area title as an amateur. I've now turned pro in 4.5 years. Is thanks to Mark and Giuseppe and how much they've brought me on and adapted my style. You know, I'd never put through a punch till I come here, so it was good for them because they didn't have to knit grit on things that I'd learned from a different gym. You know, they had us from fresh. I was a blank canvas for them, so it was. So what they've taught is, like you've seen there, you know, still now you'll see you need to turn your right hand more, you need to drop your left shoulder more, you need to do this, you need to do that. Every single day I'm always learning, always, you know, I come in here, every day I do pads, every day I'm working on the body, slips, rolls, everything. I'm always learning. Doesn't matter how long, you know, you've been boxing for, there's always something to nitpick on, and Joe's perfect for that, and so is Mark. And that's why, you know, I believe with them two, I will go somewhere, because the pair of them are just phenomenal together as coaches. They do all my strength work, they do my cardio work.
That was going to be my next point, because while here it's just like a little small bit here for boxing, but just outside that door is a humongous gym out there.
Yeah,
it's absolutely massive.
So you know, it's everything out there that you need. There's over £750,000 worth of equipment put into this place. Yeah. You've got the hit stuff down the bottom. You've got all your hammer strength machines at the top. You've got all your cables, all your weighting machines. Then you've got your Religo area for all your strength work, your deadlift, your power lift, your bench press, and then you've got all your cardio equipment as well, the ski ergs, you know, on top of all your rowers, your treadmills, your steppers. So that there's literally everything that you need in this place, and it's 2 minutes from your house. So there's no excuse. There's never been an excuse when I first joined the gym 4.5 years ago to lose weight, which is why I joined. There was no excuse. You know, there's never been an excuse not to be and not to get me working, and which is why I think it's been a perfect combination. And I'm glad I found the place, and I'm glad I found Mark, and I'm glad I found Joe, because the path they've got us on is an interesting and exciting path of where we want to progress to.
I mean, the Vision Gym, I'll put the address in the description of this video and that as well, so if anybody wants to come down just do some fitness, then you know, nice place. I mean, everything. Yeah. Like when I walked in here, I was surprised at how big it was. Yeah, yeah. It was massive.
Yeah, so it's an old cash and carry. It's an old cash and carry, so it's you know, like you say, it is huge. It's got 4 different rooms. There's also a physio in here, as well as a weight room and a legal room, and it's only ever progressing. There's always new things coming. There's always new equipment coming, new things coming. The spinning room is unbelievable as well. There's over 50 spinning bikes. They're the first company, I think, in the UK to get virtual spinning as well, where you watch on big 60-inch screens. You can watch yourself and they take you through it. So it is a fantastic place, and for me to train, and there's no excuse. And for those who do, if anybody does want a membership, I mean, it's cheap as chips as well. It's £20 a month.
New Year's resolution, people, get down.
Yeah, come down in January, and you know, come into the boxing and take it up. If you want to get fit, there's nothing better to get fit. There's plenty of classes. There's over 100 classes a week throughout the gym. There's seven fitness classes in the boxing studio. Then there's amateur boxing, and you'd be more than welcome to come to the classes throughout the day. And as I say, the whole gym's it's a great atmosphere as well. There's over 4,000 members here, and every single one of them, you know, there's not a time I don't walk through where everybody's smiling, happy, saying hello, saying goodbye. So it's a nice atmosphere. It's a nice gym to train in, and there's plenty space for you to train. And there's never not equipment for somebody to be on, you know, like other gyms where they're tight.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so as I said, your social media will be in the description box of this video. Everyone get following you over there on Instagram. Do you have Twitter in that?
I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. Twitter's something that I'm going to be making. Facebook, not so much. But Twitter is something I will be making. But at the moment, just Instagram. Just
no worries. I'll put a link to that in the description box for you.
Thank you.
All right, Steve. Well, thanks very much, and I'll pop down again probably just after your fight.
Fantastic. So, thank you very much to Sporting Icons for coming down today as well, and having a look round and taking the time out to come and watch us train and have a good chat with us as well. So thank you.
Spot on.